clock is ticking on Australia's International Enduro for 2025. Maxi Goetz in the AMG will lead them down. Engel with a racy start in the AMG, gets down the inside of the Audi. Goetz is wide. He dropped it at turn 1. And they're going to battle for this one on the run-up mountain straight. Hard to pick who's who at the moment, but they're 3 abreast. To the Audi, the Meguiar sandwich, and they're banging doors. It's a 12-hour race, boys. What are you doing? Us to Griffin's Bend. Maro Engel in an amazing position to sweep around the outside, but it'll be Goetz who leads them through for Craft Bamboo.
What were we saying yesterday about putting the helmet on and flicking the switch, Garth Tander? First corner, first lap, 11 hours and 50 minutes to go, and that looked like it was the last lap of a 5-lap sprint.
It happens every year. They say they're going to play themselves in. They're not going to worry about it too much for the first couple of laps. We'll wait for the sun to come up and then we'll get into it. And that lasted exactly 200 metres this year. They got to turn 1. Maxi Goetz had a moment. It slid through the apex, got a slow run up Mountain Straight, and they went mental. They wanted to take the lead straight away. Did Farfus, Engel, and Ricardo fell 3 wide up Mountain Straight, banging doors within the first minute of a 12-hour race.
Are we not entertained already? Worth the price of admission for that sprint up Mountain Straight towards Griffin's. And I'm sure there was bodywork banging there. That car in the middle, the Audi, was really getting hammered from both sides, and at that point, Garth, there's not much you can do but try and hold your line. You're getting the aerodynamic push from both sides.
Oh, you're much better playing offense than defense when you're in that position and just try and get to the lead. And Goetz ultimately gathered it up, got to turn 2 first and took off, and now has a huge gap over the rest.
Oh, there are a couple side by side there. So Ricky Feller was second going into turn 1. He's 5th now in the 183 Audi and had a massive fistful of understeer, turning the car in at the elbow for the first time. The big winner in all of that stuff going on in the opening lap was Augusto Farfus in the number 32 Team WRT BMW. So he's up 3 spots to second position. At the end of the first racing lap at speed, Maxi Goetz leads the 12-hour by 1.5 seconds. Farfus second for BMW, and Chaz Mostert, well, who would have predicted he passed some cars early? The Ferrari up to 3rd. We're on board with Chaz Mostert. He's had a very good run out of the BMW M elbow, and he's lining up a BMW M car potentially to grab second place away. Brazilian Augusto Farfus, who's been here 4 occasions now, is looking feisty. Here goes Mostert down the inside. This for second position, and the Ferrari takes a step forward.
Oh, no!
Oh, it's the 77. Early contender, Maxi Goetz in the gravel trap at Elf Murray's corner, and that will 100% be the first BMW safety car period of the race.
How has he got there?
He must have arrived backwards,
They
surely.
didn't change tyres. Oh, this is going to be something with
safety
traffic.
Safety car boards and flags, safety car boards and flags.
It's the Ferrari.
Oh, my goodness.
The 26 Ferrari of Will Brown and Maxi Goetz. They were battling for position.
He arrived backwards, as I suspected. You don't get in there and drive in that way around. So now, pick the bones out of that one.
Well, Goetz is in the gravel trap, and there was contact to the Ferrari. So 2 of our real front contenders has that damaged the front of the Ferrari.
Inhibitors must be activated.
So
BMW.
Go safety car. All cars now are 80k an hour.
BMW staying out seems like a genius call.
They have got
they bail into pit lane.
They have got the free kick of all free kicks, as has Maro Engel. So.
Well, the beauty of it is for them, they hadn't even got to the point of catching a safety car because they were on Conrod Straight when that was called. So this is a gift of all gifts for WRT.
Exactly what we're talking about. If you can save a bit of fuel, and this is why I like the fact that we've been able to have as long a stint as possible, Garth. Saved a little bit of fuel, opened the window. Thank you very much. We'll take that.
Oh, we often wonder and say how professional WRT are, and they win all the big races all around the world. And my people often say, geez, they're always so lucky. They're not lucky. They're just smart, and they're
Better
good.
you are, the
and
luckier you get.
Save fuel, make the window as big as you can. If an opportunity comes, you take it, and they have taken it in the first stop.
So lights are out. Augusto Farfus. So BMW's
overrun the chase.
BMW's got a free kick out of this. They've got track position by staying out and taking advantage of the safety car. And Augusto Farfus leads the race down. It's Valentino Rossi behind the wheel of car 46 in second place. It's still wild to say that. Maxime Martin behind the wheel, former BMW driver, chasing the car he drove last year and wide. Ian James, was it? In the heart of racing car it was, and you cannot pass until you get to the control line under the bridge. So it's all chocked up in peak hour traffic early in the morning on Mount Panorama, and the field will split as a result. So both BMWs and Maxime Martin in the GMR Mercedes-AMG have got massive track position out of this. That 77 car's now a lap behind. They need to wait for the next safety car a little bit later in the race to try and get their lap back. And there's GT4 cars in all of this as well.
You actually saw, I was like, why is Maxi Gox putting his foot on the brake going up Mount Straight? It's because he had to change lanes because of the GT4 cars. Even before they got to the control line, Augusto Farfus bowled a wide at the chase. So as soon as the safety, oh no, one of the McLarens backwards at turn 2. Into the wall, the 25 car.
Ryan Sorensen.
So was there contact as some of the faster cars coming through? Now he's stuck. And this is hard. Trying to, well, yeah, one, actually get reversed with a paddle shift gearbox, and two, you've got to get it up the hill when you reverse out of there. So there we go. He's done a flick turn. And now it's actually damage to the front splitter.
Come on.
But has he done damage to it? So what happens here? Was it cold tyre? Oh, no. At number 9, Dean Fiore. Contact with Sorensen turns him around.
Race control don't like that.
No, not at all.
Fast class car gets caught up with a slow class car. And this, just to unpick, was what was going on the restart, because you cannot overlap until you get to that control line. And Ian James had a big overlap, and he got that track position in the 27 car, ran it wide at Elf Murray's corner, and then no one could get by until they got to that control line. So they're all choked up there. It's like trying to merge onto the freeway and everyone doing it badly.
Here's this moment with Lowndes and Shute, and I think Lowndes thought that Shute was just going to back out of that one.
He was not.
And luckily CL's done a lap or two around here, so he was in the right spot, and there was actually a bit going on behind there. Yeah, so there you go. There's one around, and there's that James that went around. It was Kenny Habul that was trying to get up the inside of Ian James. So here we go on board Liam Talbot. Kenny Habul right in front of us. Kenny's going up the inside of James. Just touch, and around James goes. So that was one of those sort of indecisive ones. No, you go, no, you go, no, you go. And that's like...
You both end up crashing.
In the end, you're both crashing. Kenny would have been better off just jamming it in there, and they would have been side-by-side contact, and James wouldn't have gone around.
Now, GMR need to take this drive-through as soon as they can, because with all that drama that was going on the restart with Ian James and checking everybody up, the 3 leading cars... Lowndes. He's got an issue.
Tyre.
Oh, no.
Left rear.
Well, if it's going to happen, and Gilles Gounon will tell you this from when he won the race in 2020, do it just before you get to pit lane.
He's put, like, the pit lane's right there. Where's he going? Where are you going, Craig Lowndes?
He's stopping.
He's got more problems than just a tyre.
So there's been a significant failure, but wouldn't you drag it back to the lane? And positive he was just coming out of the chase there.
He was, absolutely. That's under the Spares Box bridge.
Kenny with that 15 second. Oh, big contact. One of the McLarens has gone around. That's at Skyline, and it's parked right on the S's. That's a dangerous part of the racetrack. How has he got there? Ryan Sorensen has had a very...
Safety car boards and flags.
Oh, no, it's one of the Audis. So there's been contact. It's the 44, Marcel Zalua.
And that's the Pro-Am leader as well. And that's big damage on the right rear. So 2 class leaders, Krillsy, coming together. You're shaking your head. We were just saying nearly 10.5 hours to go. And it's just got a little bit spicy.
Second BMW safety car of the race. 10 hours and 21 to go. So just an hour and 38 in.
And that's that Audi won't go again. The McLaren definitely won't go again today.
Ryan Sorensen behind the wheel of that car on his Meguiar's 12-hour debut.
What a debut it's been too for Sorensen. Caught up at their first lap restart, and then now contact. Well, we assume contact between the 44 and the 25. So here we go. Zalua coming up on Sorensen for the run. Oh no! He's dropped it by himself, and Zalua was collected.
How's your look there? Oh my goodness me.
The Belmont Racing Audi just caught up in someone else's accident.
The damage on the Audi from hitting the wall rather than even being hit by the...
Well, that was trying to thread the needle there
exactly.
and couldn't get it done. Oh no!
Stephen Grove
Safety car
in
boards
the
and flags.
AMG GT3. There's a bit of fire under the left front as well, where something's caught, something hot, and that is just starting to lick of flame there behind the left front Pirelli, and that's up at the top of the mountain, well, just over the top of the mountain, actually, Garth.
Over Skyline, the run through the S's down to the dipper, and you can see that fire that's on the exhaust. So something is touching the exhaust that shouldn't be, but heavy contact. And sounds expensive.
That was just the door opening as well.
Now the car's rolling, so...
Not anymore, it's in the wall.
No, it's in against the wall. I reckon that corner was already needing replacing anyway, but real shame for this team. They're running the strategy with getting Stephen Grove the bronze, and he looks a bit ginger, so it's been heavy contact for Stephen Grove at the top of the mountain. And how has he ended up there?
That car's been on the ground. There's witness marks on the tarmac. That's been on the ground a ways further back.
This is it, looking out the back of Stephen Grove's AMG Mercedes and Kenny Abul up the inside.
I mean, that's as near a car has gone to going over the wall there that has ever happened.
A fair bit of shock, I think, in the cockpit there.
You get winded,
Grove.
don't you?
I think you can see it's taken the wind out of Steve. So just taking a moment. Alistair McVeigh watching on, the performance engineer for that car this weekend.
Good news is he got out the car himself, and he's going to be shocked, he's going to be winded, and he's going to have some bruises from the belts.
Adrenaline's the best drug of all, isn't it? This again at speed. Have a listen. I mean, that's
just exhaling. That's involuntary.
That is literally the wind coming back in your lungs after being taken out of it. And that car had a total rebuild going into this race. It could not have been stripped any more than it was stripped. And the car was as good as it has been at Grove Racing, and now it will need another one. So here we go, on board with Kenny Abul. Well, Steve was out wide and Kenny was on line. I mean, it was the smallest of contact. You almost didn't feel it from Kenny's car. Predictable response from the Grove Racing crew.
And at least for the moment, it's ended there, David.
We talked earlier about that misunderstanding of cars and where they place themselves, particularly across the top of the mountain, and that caught those two out. So here we go, Yilden trying to get to the inside and just gets the timing wrong and clobbers the back of the Lamborghini. It looks to me like the Lamborghini may have got off that better than the Mercedes of Yilden, but ultimately contact that neither car needed. And the Ferrari in behind just gets away with that one. And now look, also something we need to be mindful of is the debris on the racetrack, because if someone comes over there and cuts a tyre, that will play certainly a part.
And Luke Yilden lost a position there. That was Alessio Rivera going through in the Ferrari. Jed Nogera in the pit lane.
So gets that opportunity, assuming he jumps out of the car, to change the undies after the big moment at the top of the hill, because...
So there we go. We're dodging it. Actually, Yilden gets some of that damage there as he goes through. So hard, you can't dodge.
Hit his own car.
Yeah, that's right. So
I've just run over the back of my car.
That's right on line as they exit Reed Park for the run to McPhillamy.
And the juice out of this car, so...
Safety car.
Oh, they've got safety car there. For the debris.
Absolutely for the debris.
Again.
And BMW, by staying out those couple of laps, opening up that window, has fallen for them again nicely. It's fallen nicely for Craft Bamboo. They're already in the lane. They'll get a half benefit from that, as does the Spirit of Racing team. And we can see on our timing screen, the Aston Martin of Jalen Robotham is in out of 6th place as well. Oh no, the KTM is going into the garage.
And the telltale sign of fluid on the ground indicates perhaps some overheating for the 5-cylinder turbocharged car. We'll follow that story up. The BMW is at the top of the mountain, so they're in the middle sector now, heading down towards the elbow, but the whole field will slow to 80 k's an hour, so the gaps remain relative to each other.
Got to take it.
Oh, yeah, you pit. They were right on the window anyway. This is their 35th lap.
Brilliant.
So cars that didn't take it, because they've already stopped, is the 88 and the 911, so they're doing 80 k an hour. Oh no, Superbarn, AMG, Mercedes, that's in the gravel trap at the exit of turn 1. James Koundouris is aboard that car right now.
That's the silver class 2nd position car, 13th overall.
That, if he can't get out there, we go.
Safety car boards and flags.
BMW's in the leading
car. But I would imagine everyone will now come to the lane. We're far enough into the stint. So how did Koundouris end up there? He just lost the rear on entry. And we saw Maxi Goetz right back on lap 1 at the start of this race. Near on 6 hours ago, have the same moment. He was able to catch it, but it's caught Koundouris out.
This is actually going to disadvantage a little bit the WRT cars, because it'll put everybody else on the same pit stop sequence. They're, at the moment, quite a few laps better off on fuel than those around them. They've been going longer.
Oh, they weren't far away from stopping either, because there's David Russell in the Tagani Motorsport garage waiting, helmet on, suited and booted.
So to John's point, the BMWs were 3 laps to the good of the cars around them, which at this point of the race isn't make or break.
No.
If you're 3 laps to the good at the end, it might be a different story. The way the safety car was timed, the lead BMW had already crossed the line. The second one wasn't far away, so it was too early for them to commit. Those that have committed immediately, Maro Engel has peeled the GMR car off with the colour bars on it, and the Porsche's in as well. And Matt Campbell just saw the shot, so he was unplugging himself. So his first little cameo in the race will be pretty short-lived by the looks of it.
He waited. Oh no, he's
staying in. There was some unplugging going on, but he's decided to stay in the car. So it'll be a longer-lived cameo for one of our nominees for the GOAT.
Well, you did nothing for 5 hours.
No, exactly.
You stay in there and do some work. So brand new set of Pirelli
unused
tyres going on, unused sticker tyres, or green tyres as we call them in Australia for some reason. I don't know why, but brand new tyre going on.
81-second stop for Engel, so he's out.
Have caught the back of the wave by cars, and Elliott Shute in the Ferrari. He's got to come to pit lane for a penalty. They are lined up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are all there. After 6 hours and 15 minutes of racing, they are all in the same shot, and there's still more lap traffic to come. Glenwood in the KTM, and the heart of racing, Mercedes of Ian James, just up the road, and they will not clear them. The leaders will not clear them before they get to the top of the mountain.
So 2 BMWs, 3 Mercedes-AMGs, a Ferrari and a Porsche, and just behind them an Aston Martin, all on the lead lap, all fighting for the lead. The Audi's still in the mix as well. The KTM is right in the thick of the action. It's Glenwood. He's vastly experienced and very fast, so does the right thing and gets out of the way before the kick up towards the Worth cutting, and that 1 in 6 climb, the gradient up to the top of the hill. And more traffic now.
So Ian James, the heart of racing, AMG Mercedes. This is a tricky part of the racetrack. We've seen dramas with lap traffic already today as they make their way across the top of the mountain. And James is not going to be able to get out of the way before Skyline. They're going to have to queue up all the way down past the dipper. Patience, patience, patience.
Frustration, frustration, frustration. I'm telling you that now. This is, what have we got here? How many cars is in that line now?
Oh no.
And now it's a GT4 car as well that's just come out of the pit lane.
They basically stopped at the turning point.
So now it's a drag race. Now it's a
Engel had
drag
to put the
race.
handbrake on to get his thing stopped. They're all so checked up. Poor old Daniel Bielski in the GT4 car, absolutely mugged.
It's Ian James in the SPS Heart of Racing car. He knows which way is up. He'll try and stay out the way, but at some stage he's got to turn in. Now he'll try and stay out to the right-hand side, which he does. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 gone through. But now he's just got to stay on line. There's nothing that Ian can do right now.
Stoltz got caught behind James. Remember last lap he tried to go around the outside of the cutting. He wasn't doing that twice.
So somewhere around the 7-hour mark plus will be a good window for these cars to roll in for their next stop.
No, that's the
Although
103
it
Audi.
could be right now
kidding
because
me?
there's a car in the trap at the chase. And I think you might see the entire field peel off into pit lane because that's not driving out. And Ricardo Fella.
Safety car boards and flags.
He hasn't made a mistake and driven it in there. There's clearly something gone wrong with that car. Remember, right back to the start, there was contact, and Ricardo Fella reported there was damage to that car. So here he is coming into the chase on the brake pedal, and it just something happens there, and
Left front gone.
it looks like a tyre or something. It's so
Suspension?
far away
Yeah.
to actually diagnose exactly what it was, but clearly a failure, and that car has found itself. If it was a tyre letting go, he'd still be able to turn.
I think that again, you talk about the 1%ers, they're just giving themselves the best opportunity. Big battle going on behind that second place car. It's third that's under dispute at the moment. Chaz Mostert has lit the afterburners again on the number 26 Ferrari.
Oh,
as
in the background.
And off goes the, oh my goodness, I can't believe it. Max Martin goes off. I can't remember seeing that before.
How has he ended up there? When we were focusing on the 46 coming to pit lane, I just saw it in the back of shot.
Well, they're doing their pit stop now under green, so if that car doesn't go...
Absolutely, that's a great point, John. The 46 has done its pit lane penalty.
Correct.
It's in before any yellow comes out.
Correct.
If the Triple Eight can't get moving, and they go safety car comes now, they can catch the back of the field. Yeah, okay, they lost some track position,
Free drive through.
but not a lot.
Yep.
Wow.
How did Maxime Martin end up there? There was a bit going on, and I wonder, has he tried to go around the outside? Remember, we saw Lucas Stoltz trying to go around the outside at the sweeper coming out of the chase. Has he fallen foul of that? We'll wait and see. So here we go.
See if we can work it out.
No, he's by himself. He's gone off. So it looked to me, we're on board the Aston Martin of Jamie Day, and it looked like Day was having to drive through a heap of gravel coming out of the chase. And I wonder whether he's dropped a wheel actually at the chase itself, and then when he's changed direction, has had a tank slapper. But he wasn't going around traffic. That's what I thought, because how else would someone of Maxime Martin's experience have that happen?
And Mauro Engel watching from the lane. Here it is, top of the screen.
Now.
Yeah, so he's
Has
out
he got a
wide
left foot
early.
puncture?
Oh, man.
Did he have a left foot puncture?
That was a huge hit. The shot from side on and above from up in ridges diminished, I think, how serious the impact was. But from that front-on shot, how hard it went in, it launched the car off the ground.
Watch. Oh, I can't see for the mirror.
Oh, so he's turned, he's got that gravel. So that was the dust that we saw the Aston Martin drive through. So he's got the dust, and then when he's appeared in the next shot, he's out wide, and you're in the grey. So he's effectively ended up where Lucas Stoltz was earlier, but he did it by himself.
That's rung his bell a little bit for Maxime Martin.
That's don't forget, left-hand drive car. That's his side. So
and it was saying that impact was really hard. And once again, Mauro Engel in a competitive car in a shot to win the race is denied at Mount Panorama.
We've got a race on at the front of the field, climbing the mountain again for the 200th time. Another little milestone in terms of what's going on the timing and scoring. Farfus just from Ojeda and Mostert. Chan Guven right in there as well as they go past that number 44 repaired Audi, which has to be spirit of the race. Surely getting that car back in many laps down, but they're going to try and get to the podium in Pro-Am. And this is heating up once again. We've seen these little times. Oh, traffic getting in the way. for Chaz Mostert, and he loses touch for a moment as he had to go past the pole.
That wasn't traffic, that was
That
for
was past the
position.
position,
That was
what I'm talking
Ojeda.
about, yes.
So our leaders somehow continue to tighten up. Fafa still leads Ojeda, still from Mostert. Mostert's had a sniff down at Forest Elbow. He's got a good run down Conrod. Ojeda will miss the curb at the kink and defend down into the chase. And that is how you defend in a GT car. You don't need to be on the curb at the kink on Conrod in a GT car. So you signal your intention early. You want to pass me? Pass me on the outside.
Yeah.
These two both hot in GT3 cars, let alone supercars, because Jaden raced all of GT World Challenge Oz last year, as well as key international events as a Mercedes junior, as an AMG junior. So they're both sharp. And Chank Uvan, who won the race last year, just tacking on and watching the show in front. The way this is playing out, gents, there is every possibility this is the final hour with these four cars.
Let's hope so.
Oh, yeah.
So this is back on board, Chaz Mostert, and it's important there. See the run, he got off the dipper, coming down to Forest Elbow. That's why he had the incentive to try and stick it up the inside. Ojeda saw him late and shut the door. You got to get up early in the morning to trick me, Chaz Mostert. And then that run down Conrod and that battle into the chase was epic to watch. Matt Campbell is just a watching brief now. Oh, sorry, and Shane Guven, it will be Matt Campbell for the run home. Just a watching brief back and forth. It's probably not a bad idea just to give these guys a bit of room right now.
just in case.
You might find yourself leading sooner rather than later.
There's quite the Australian term in sport called a Bradbury, and he's just playing that one right now, I think. Dan Shane Guven. Brown just needs to keep the pressure on as he does, leaving the chase. Picarello defends. Brown was gonna send it, but Picarello ripped the stamp off. Said, no, you don't.
That was the Jules Gounon move from earlier on, where he went left, right, left again, but they couldn't get the cutback coming out of Elf Murray's corner to get it up the inside at T1. That's magnificent stuff. There's a lot of trust between those drivers. Brilliant stuff.
Now, not so much in the last hour.
Fair point. Yeah. Yeah. 3 hours and 30 minutes on the nosy. 2 more pit stops for some of the field, 3 for the 2 at the very front.
Racing towards the next set of stops. A group of the leaders have pitted. A group are going a little bit longer. So there were 2 strategies unfolding in this race. Jules Gounon leads, needs a pit stop and stops now. Car 75 is in the lane. We're watching a battle between Alessio Picariello in the 911 Porsche versus Will Brown in the Ferrari 296 GT3. They're fighting over 5th and 6th place. It'll be net 2nd and 3rd potentially.
Ooh. So they did the same
lap.
laps.
That's big for 75.
Yeah, that's huge.
I've just made a note, and I've got a little homework task for Richard Trail that I would like to know what the next best AMG stint is after what Gounon just did. But I think that's the biggest stint of the race so far for a Mercedes. So that's massive, because we've known all day that the BMWs have had the best fuel economy. But Gounon's just matched them and kept track position over the 46 while he did it. So that was an exceptional stint for Jules Gounon. As they bolt Lucas Stoltz into the car, 4 brand new Pirelli tyres, a tank load of fuel, and they'll send him on his way.
Yeah, that could be among the defining stints of the race in a weird way. We talk about that in Gounon in the past for driving amazingly and so quickly and relentlessly, but that one was going as slowly as you possibly could while still being competitive.
This is important. This is important. So don't forget, he was well behind these 2 cars. It was 9 odd seconds behind those cars halfway through that stint. That gap's closed. That gap has absolutely closed.
In that final stint. So you go light a race car against someone who's on a full tank and you put new tyres on, you're going to be in a better position than those around you. So they're all the variables. And Will is about to have a big launch here, but traffic's playing a role.
Nicely done.
Daniel Wolski.
That held Picarello up there, but it's also brought Will Brown onto the rear wing of the Porsche for the rundown Conrod. And we've seen that the Ferrari's very, very strong in the toe of the Porsche. I thought Picarello was off the gas early when they came down the Forest Elbow and it was traffic. Here comes Brown. Will he get there?
Wow.
Can he get there to the kink? Yes, he can. Does Picarello let him have it? No, he doesn't. Oh, man, he comes right up to the width of the side of the Ferrari. Gives him exactly one Ferrari width on the outside. And they battle on to the final corner.
Great call, Garth. Well done. That was awesome racing and really good awareness between the two of them and racing respect between two great racing drivers through the fastest corner in Aussie motorsport. And now we go again. Where's the send? Does it come here at turn one? No, Picarello blocks, but that's going to open Will Brown's exit for the run-up Mountain Straight.
That was nice driving by Picarello going through turn one. Just stood him up in the middle. You could hear clearly that he didn't pick the throttle up straight away.
Really nice driving all the way around from the chase. And now they go side by side again.
This is going to get tasty.
Little bit of side arrow effect for Brown. Can he go all the way around? No. The Porsche continues to grimly hang on, but right now they are at the point they're burning lap time.
Correct.
They're not saving fuel particularly, but they're giving track position away to the two cars in front, the 32 BMW and the 77 car. And while that was going on, I was looking at the timing monitor because I don't want to see overtakes of the cutting. It's terrifying.
Better send that memo to Will Brown.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say. And Aston Martin signed him as part of their academy for a reason, clearly. But Jamie Day, he is the GT star of the future.
Oh, Picarello!
He's off.
He's finally blinked. And it was without pressure from Will Brown. We heard the tyre shudder in the background. So it's the track temperature coming up now to the point where it's starting to affect car balance. We heard of Mercedes of Maxi Gotts up at the cutting on the previous lap have a big tyre shudder. And I just heard in the effect mics, Picarello, as he went through the final corner, have a tyre shudder himself. Boulder wide. Will Brown, thank you very much. He'd been working his backside off of what feels like hours, and ultimately it was given to him by a mistake by the Porsche.
From the hill on the outside of Murray's corner with right at the very end as the leader comes into pit lane now.
Right.
So with 2 hours and 21 minutes to go, based on an hour and 10 stint perhaps with a BMW to the line, they're going to be right on marginal to do this race on one more stop, Chad.
Yeah. Bingo, Rich, and that is exactly what they're working towards right now. They've got some fresh Pirellis laid out, and they're going to get one of the Vanderlinders out. Out comes Kelvin, in gets Sheldon, and these boys, the brothers, working in unison. Fuel going in, tyres getting done. No rush with the 80 seconds, but they've got to get it done. But the impressive thing here is that is 35 laps, showing off their advantage that they've got over everyone. Doesn't matter if you're working to laps or time right now. I think they're good to get to the finish on this one last stop, but that is absolutely beautifully executed from BMW to get them just to that window.
Yeah, it's a great point, Chad. Well surmised, and they're in such a good position now from a strategy point of view. And those extra 4 or 5 laps over the Ferrari and the Porsche that we've just seen are all the difference in getting to the line. And I emphasise this without any help from the race being slowed down. If there is a caution at some point, it changes the game completely.
Yeah, but less so for this car because it doesn't really matter what happens.
They've got flexibility.
So this car, the 75 and the 46 have got the most flexibility.
Exactly.
Should a safety car fall or should it not fall and we remain green for the remaining 2 hours and 20 minutes, they're the three that can do it. If there's a safety car, it might bring more cars into the game, but ultimately they've ticked a box now, getting to this point here.
Sheldon van der Linde rejoins in third position. The 2 cars ahead have yet to make their stop, but he's well ahead of Lucas Hart, who's heading up Mountain Straight now. So he's at least held on to the gap that he had before pitting.
It is turning out an absolute hurler today. In pit lane, stopping car number 46, Valentino Rossi, and he came into pit lane hot, really hot. Watch this. Bump onto the little lip. It's basically a gutter. Here it is. Just a little nudge as he got the car, tried to stop and turn. The couple of question marks over that. Did he have it down to 40 kilometres an hour at the time? And is there any lingering damage as a result?
Sounded like he was on the pit lane speed limiter, but he has cracked the lip of the splitter on the right-hand front. They didn't feel the need to do anything with it, and they've sent the car, which has now been taken over by Raffaele Marciello. He's the leader in the pit lane.
And speaking of the Elf pit lane. In comes the 75 and just gets that car stopped in time. They got that extra lap in. Beautiful driving from Lucas Stoles. We'll get this back to Jules Gounon to finish off the race. You guys posed the question, what was the pit stop time for car 32, yes?
Yes.
Yep. 79.7. Now, there's a kicker. It does say in the rule book that there is give or take 1 second, and you're allowed to potentially go inside that 1 second bracket 3 times during the race.
So that's a joker stop then. It's a knockout. Wow.
I just read the reg myself.
Yeah, I remember reading that in the regs myself. Go on, Rich, you've got it there.
4.25.2.1.4. The motor racing regulations pretty dry, weren't it? There will be a non-cumulative 1 second tolerance to the minimum pit stop time, which may be used 3 times during the race, which is actually quite a lot. Save you 3 seconds potentially, but so they'll take that, they'll wipe their brow, and they'll walk away.
On board here with Daniel Serra as he makes his way out of Forest Elbow for his run down Conrod Straight. Let's hear from Chad in Elf Pit Lane.
They'll have to do a driver change on this car, Garth, because if Serra was to stay in it, he would just go over his maximum continuous driving time by a minute.
So, mate, moving pieces.
It is a game of seconds, this race, and it is every year. And you have to be a rocket scientist to try and work out how all the moving pieces, fuel and tyre and driver time, fits in. The Lamborghini trying to warm its tyres. They were brand new Pirellis that went on that Lamborghini. So Brendan Leach is about to go really fast. And into the lane comes the first of our contenders, and the Porsche follows. So this is on brand for the race from what we've seen, in that these 2 cars have been inseparable. But with an hour and 20 minutes to go, they're going to need serious fuel saving, serious help, or another pit stop to get to the checkered flag from here. And that's a good story. Yeah. That puts a smile on everyone's face, the guy of Valmont Racing Audi back on the racetrack.
If it's green from here to the end with an hour and 24 to go, they're not making it. No. You can't save that much fuel from here.
So you get Chaz in now, for example, and Matt Campbell in the Porsche, and you blaze, you go as hard as you possibly can, you hang on for as long as you possibly can, awaiting the potential of a safety car, when everyone's going to pit anyway, you're back on even kill, or you just roll the dice.
And you run it till it goes dry.
Yep.
Yes, basically. Normally you would say you want to make your last pit stop first, just in case you get the wrong side of a safety car, but this is too far out for that. So these guys, these guys are basically, they've got no choice at this point. This is a 32-lap stint for both of them. That's what they've been doing in between their visits to the Elfoil pit lane, all through the 10.5 hours so far.
The irony of this is that if any one of the safety car periods we've had in the race was a lap longer here, a lap longer there, that could have been the difference between them pitting with an hour and 20 to go or coming in with an hour and 5 to go when you could make it to the end. So it is a game of inches, and they are so close to being in the window, but frustratingly right now they're not in it.
And compounding the pain for the 911 Absolute Racing Porsche, their pit stop then, remember it's a minimum of 80 seconds stop time, 84 seconds versus 81 for Chaz Mostert and Arise Racing. So not only are they stopping earlier than they like, they stop for longer than they would have liked. And you say it's only 3 seconds, we can't see Chaz Mostert up the road. He's gone because it extrapolates so much more when the cars are only doing 40k an hour in pit lane.
This is a battle for position. It's for 4th and 5th, and between the cars that have completed what they hope is going to be their final stop in the race, but we're not convinced it is. They're running out of time. So Chaz Mostert has pushed the go button, and he is flying in the Arise Racing GT Ferrari. The poleman Lucas Auer in front. Mostert looking to go around the outside at turn 2. He's going to have to bide his time. So they've clearly decided at Arise Racing they are going to press on, go as fast as you can, in the knowledge that we're going to have to stop and put fuel in.
Yeah, Lucas Auer lost nearly 3 seconds, not on the end of that lap, but the previous one. Chaz Mostert doing a 2:02 against a 2:05 for the AMG ahead of him. He's in full attack mode.
Don't forget, Auer is heavier at the moment because he stopped later than the Ferrari that filled the tank to give them as much flexibility as they can manage for this last stint. Mostert's car was one of the first cars in to take the last stop, so his car's a little bit lighter. They've clearly decided they're going to try and get up the road. And we saw earlier with Lucas Stoltz, the AMGs are a little bit lazy for the first 3 or 4 laps while they're full of fuel, and then they start to come to life.
And for cars 32, 75 and 46, so the 2 BMWs split in the middle by the car that's finished first twice and was runner-up last year. The window is now open for them to get home on one more pit stop. So that's the race. There's 3 cars that can and 3 cars that might. And here's Chaz in the tow, looks down the inside at the kink and will take that position away. The Ferrari will move to 4th.
Yeah, he's 5 laps worse off on fuel than the car that he's just passed. That's the calculation there. All right, if you reckon you're in there, 70 minutes to go, and that, as we've seen throughout the day, that has been achievable. Do you make your pit stop straight away? Do you make your last pit stop straight away?
No, you go as long as you possibly can, because you may still get that free safety car as well.
That, or the further you go into the race, as Chaz Mostert completes his elf oil slick pass down at the chase, uses the toe nicely, and then side drafts his way past Lucas Auer as they make their way down to the kink. Just there, stays nice and close to the rear quarter panel of the Mercedes. Gets track position at the kink, and there's nothing Lucas Auer's able to do about it as Chaz closes it down.
So here we go.
Limbering up, doing a stretch. Kelvin van der Linde, who for many a year has been one of the fastest and most electrifying internationals to drive a GT3 car. Here we go. This is the clutch moment. Right on the edge of their pit window to get to the checkered flag without stopping again. Sheldon van der Linde attacks the pit lane. He's going to hand the race-leading BMW over to his teammate for what could be their final pit stop.
And how excited were we in the booth here? Well, Meguiar came together there as we pointed at the screen at the same time. They've been side by side as we were pointing at the screen. Brand new green stickers. Look, they're just going to be fast. And it's brother for brother as Kelvin van der Linde will get into that car and be told, you've got about 67 minutes, 66 and a half minutes. And that's what separates you from the top step of the podium. Now, banging on the front, started
so
up.
Trying to shake all the leaf debris out of the front grille and out of the air intake. So you can see they've blown it out as much as they can.
Pretty fat with fuel now.
But I don't think it'll be completely full. They would have only had the fuel rig connected enough to get to the end under full push, like full green, full push.
Yeah. Their window was 1 hour and 12, we thought, so they've come in at 1 hour and 6 to go. So there's
3 laps.
Yeah.
3 laps of fuel they won't have put in the car.
It's enough of a safety margin. Crosses the line. What's the pit stop time?
80.7.
80.7, again, like clockwork. And out he goes. And there is Chaz Mostert. So this is what we were talking about with the Ferrari that's going to have some overlap here and be up to speed. But Kelvin will make this quite difficult for Chaz Mostert, who now finds himself in 4th place. So Lucas Stoltz has gone through. 75 assumes the lead. Pit stop still to come. It's looking even better for the Mercedes-AMG at the moment. If they can go a little bit further, their economy isn't as good as the BMW, but they're in a really good place. And then we think the last car to stop will be car 46, which is Raffaele Marciello behind the wheel of Valentino Rossi's BMW Team WRT entry.
When we were talking about the variety, I actually gave the BMW 2 extra cylinders and put it in a V. It's a straight 6, of course it is, in the M3, not a V8. Thank you, Punishlessness, for reminding me of that.
Car 75's got some fresh Pirellis to go, just in case they might get a late race safety car. Then it'll be up to the 32 to make the decision. Stay out or give up the track position.
And the key point about that is there's no 80-second movement. It's as fast as you can change those 4 Pirelli tyres. Here we go again for the lead. And this time, van der Linde backs out of it, but he's not making it easy for Chaz Mostert. He goes wide, he's on the turn there for a moment, and that's what Garth Tander was saying. Do you risk what you have when you really don't need to. The team will have been going bonkers there as he was kicking up dirt coming out the chase car.
I've been Kelvin van der Linde's teammate many, many times, and I've watched him drive race cars, and I've sat there with the radio on, listening to him, disregarding radio calls, and he did not need to do any of that. Just open up the steering, let Chaz go. You don't need to fight back here. We saw a car crash there today on the outside of exiting the chase. So on board here with Chaz. Chaz, he's got less to lose, so send it. See what you can do. He sent it all right, but he got it stopped nicely. It was a really good job. But Kelvin didn't need to do the crossover and try and come back around the outside. Here comes Mossad to the lane.
Yeah. So Kelvin van der Linde's gap now under 12 seconds. 11.8 seconds, and he's...
Marciello.
This is a spicy rundown, Conrad.
Marciello getting into the back of the Sun Energy 1 car. Remember, this could be for second and third in the race. This is important. He goes to the outside of the kink. This is enormous. Can he get it done? And he gets it. The BMW moves forward. Spicy, spicy stuff in the closing stages of this one. And Lello has driven 46 up to what we think could be P2 in the race.
It wasn't quite the pass on the grass, but it was the push in the dust, wasn't it, as he was going through the kink. That was extraordinary. Elfoyle's slick move for sure there, and that might be the second step on the box. And a 1-2 for BMW and for WRT, but one thing we know, gentlemen, is that Jules Gounon, he's not going to let that lie.
And he's got a good run out of turn 1 as well, so the Mercedes with its bottom end grunt and torque drags it up the hill. A little bit of aero assist on the run up to turn 2, but I think from that point, Raffaele has the position locked away, and he'll go after Lucas Auer now, and the BMW does have a straight line speed advantage, so see what he can do. We think Craft Bamboo are limping this car home. They're going to run out of fuel.
So it was the lap traffic actually in front of Auer that then held the whole lot up, and then Marciello got into the rear of Gounon. So that's why these two are racing hard down Conrad. They chased each other all the way across the width of the track. Gounon wasn't letting him through there as they got past the lap traffic. Then they went to the other side. So Marciello said, fine, I'll just go to the other, back to the outside again. Drops 2 wheels on the dirt to the turn into the kink at Conrad. I've never seen that one before. And ultimately gets the job done. Look at this. 2 wheels in the dirt at 280k an hour around the outside of AMG's best GT3 driver.
It was literally the pass on the grass. I thought it was just a dust from further down, but my goodness me. Well, stop the phone calls. Stop writing in. That is the Elfoyle slick pass in the race right there. And that meant something to everybody in there, including Monson Boss in the white shirt in the pit lane box.
Wow. Into the pit lane comes Absolute Racing. So like the Ferrari, they got a couple of extra laps out of the 911 GT3R, but ultimately they're 16 minutes short plus a lap or 2. And Matt Campbell will have to sit there while they fill the tank on the 911, and then 80 seconds will disappear.
And just starting to tighten up a little bit was Sheldon, just a little bit nervous as Auer finally comes to pit lane with 6 minutes and 20 seconds left on the clock. And that now promotes Raffaele Marciello to second. It's a 1-2 for BMW, and Jules Gounon elevates to third for 75 Express.
Final lap of the 2025 Meguiar's Bathurst 12 hours. That has been an extraordinary race in so many different ways. Oh yeah, we're all going to be nice and sensible at the start, and it was like lighting a firework and running away. It exploded into life 24 hours ago with 3 wide up Mountain Straight. The BMW team, everybody in the BMW team are hopping from foot to foot like expectant fathers in the waiting room.
What must it be like to be the Van der Linde family right now?
Oh.
This is extraordinary. It's so rare in motorsport that families produced one great racing car driver, let alone two.
Listen to the crowd. That is genuine, no piped effect here. This is a second best ever crowd at Mount Panorama. The corner work is getting in on it as well. They know they've seen something special. It's an audience here from the volunteers and everyone who's come to camp and come to watch that knows motor racing and knows what they have been watching is something quite extraordinary in terms of the brand, the race, the battles, and the scrap for the podium positions. Winning this race is one thing, Richard Crail. Bringing it home 1-2. BMW M4 GT3, the ultimate driving machine, the ultimate winning machine in 2025.
They tried in 23, they got close in 24. Third time the charm for BMW Team WRT. And Augusto Farfus and Kelvin van der Linde and Sheldon van der Linde, his brother, win the Meguiar's Bathurst 12-hour. And it's a 1-2 for BMW, with Raffaele Marciello bringing home the car he shares with Charles Vietz and Valentino Rossi on the podium on the mountain. And third place goes to Kenny Hubble, Lucas Stoles and Jules Gounon.
75 Express getting on the podium again with that car. Never not been on the podium in the 3 races it's been here. Right, where is the KTM? Wherever you are on the circuit, watch out for the orange and black KTM. I want you on your feet. I know you can hear. It's gone through. It's gone through. The KTM has finished Meguiar's Bathurst 12 hours.